Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is NURUL SYAKIRAH binti MUSTAFFA. My student ID is 2020601788. The title of my final year project is Mandarin Learning for University Students using Augmented Reality. My supervisor is Mr. Ahmad Farid bin Najmuddin. This presentation will cover background of study, problem statement, objective, scope, project significance, short summary of domain and research area, comparison of existing apps, justification, methodology diagram, system architecture, and summary of methodology. In Chapter 1, there are 5 subtopics, which are background of study, problem statement, objective, scope, and project significance. This is the background of the study. Learning a third language or even more is a popular trend in today's society. Mandarin is a third language in Malaysia. Through Malaysia Education, Malaysia's government has offered incentives for university students to learn third language. The purpose of this circumstance is to enhance students' interest toward learning extra languages other than main languages such as Malay or English, to increase the interest of learning other languages. Technology is utilized. The use of technology in education can stimulate students to actively engage in their learning, which will result in more efficient learning process. Therefore, augmented reality is applied in this project. This is the problem before proposing this project. So currently, students are facing difficulty to learn and study Mandarin anywhere since they have to bring the Mandarin books along. And it will give an effect where degree students not interested in learning Mandarin and wasting their time. So in order to make it easier for degree students to learn Mandarin, UiTM need an application that can enhance the learning process and effectiveness. So this project is to develop new application in learning Mandarin using augmented reality. There is 3 main objectives when proposing this project. The first objective is to identify the interactive Mandarin learning application using augmented reality. The second objective is to develop an augmented reality application to support Mandarin language learning process in UiTM. And the last objective is to evaluate the effectiveness of application towards Mandarin language learning process. This is the scope section of this project. The first scope is bachelor students of UiTM TAPA, as they have to take Mandarin as their third language. The second scope is syllabus in Mandarin 1. In UiTM TAPA, there are 3 levels of Mandarin languages, which are Mandarin 1, Mandarin 2, and Mandarin 3. But in this project, we'll only focus the syllabus in Mandarin 1. There are 3 significance of this project. The first one is to make it easier for degree students in UiTM TAPA to learn Mandarin. The second one is students can study anywhere without carrying a Mandarin book. The last one, the importance of this project application is to speed up the learning process using an augmented reality camera. Okay, for the chapter 2, there are 4 subtopics, which are the short summary of the domain and then the research area. Also, they will have the comparison of existing applications, and last one with the justification. The domain in this project is Mandarin language in UiTM syllabus. So language is a tool for human communication. There are many languages in this world, but in Malaysia, there are 4 languages being highlighted, which are Malay, English, Mandarin, and Tamil. So many people are aware that Mandarin is the most difficult language in the world, and many others find it difficult to understand it when it is written or read in tones that are not acceptable. But nothing in this world is easy to learn. It must have undergone slowly, step by step. So for bachelor students in UiTM Cawangan Perak campus TAPA, they must take Mandarin language as their third language to fulfill the credit hours, as it does not offer other languages. So in the UiTM syllabus, there are 3 levels of Mandarin lessons, and each lesson consists of 6 chapters to complete. So the first lesson on Mandarin will teach students basic language about Mandarin language, like numbers, tones, vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation of words, and others. So for this project, we'll only focus on the syllabus in the Mandarin 1, as in the Mandarin 1 is the basics for every student that take the third language of Mandarin. The research area of this project is augmented reality (AR). Today's technology advancement has significant impact on how the education have come. One of the outcomes of technological advancement that are utilized to reduce students' feeling difficulty and eliminate the boredom is media. The use of technology in the classroom or in the education can stimulate students to actively engage in their learning, which will result in a more efficient learning process. In this project, it will implement the augmented reality in the application. Augmented reality is a live direct or indirect view of a physical real-world environment with elements that have been enhanced by computer-generated perceptual data. Yeah. So it is a theory that places the virtual object in the real setting. So the three-dimensional media is created and integrated into the present. And augmented reality is divided into two types, which are marker-based and markerless. So the functioning of marker-based augmented reality, known as recognition-based AR or image recognition, depends on the identification of markers or user-defined images. So for the markerless, developers can design digital apps that overlay interactive augmentation on real-world surface without the use of markers. Yeah. For the existing application, there are three applications that are similar to the application that will be developed. So there are Duolingo, Mango Language, and Google Translate. For the user scope, the three application is for 3 years old and above. But for the Mandarin learning for university students using augmented reality, they are only for UITM TAPAS bachelor students. So for the image capture, only Google Translate have the image capture, and our Mandarin learning app also will have the image capture features. And then for the audio text, all the application have that features. For the notes, Mango language have offer grammar notes and culture notes for users. And for other application included the Mandarin learning app for university student using AR will not provide notes. So for the supported languages, for the three other applications, there are more than 40 language they have. So and for Mandarin learning application using augmented reality, only have two language which are Mandarin and Malay. The origin of this application, the three application are from US, which is United States, and for the Mandarin learning for university students using augmented reality will be developed in Malaysia. So for the mobile application platform, the three applications, Duolingo, Mango Language, and Google Translate, have been in Android and iOS platform. But this Mandarin learning for university students using augmented reality only will be implemented in Android platform. So this is the last subtopic for the chapter 2. This is justification. So Mandarin application for university students using augmented reality. The goal of this project is to create a mobile application for learning Mandarin that is appropriate for degree students as it follows the curriculum for the UITM bachelor course. So for the features, the audio component is very important when developing a learning application as user can learn the pronunciation of unknown words. So for the text and notes provided for the user to facilitate the user in learning before they answer the questions or quiz in the application. It also have image capture features as it will using augmented reality camera so that user can scan the word for translation or pronunciation when they find the unfamiliar or unknown words. So the development will be used Android. And this project will implement the marker-based augmented reality because it uses words as a marker to display the visual objects. This is the last chapter, which is methodology. In these subtopics, it will present the methodology diagram, system architecture diagram, and summary of methodology. So this is the methodology for this project, which is mobile application development lifecycle. There are 6 phases, which are planning and analysis, design, development of application, application testing, deployment, and application maintenance. But in this project, will be carried out only 4 phases, which are planning and analysis, design, development of application, and application testing. The other 2 phases will not be carried out as this application is only for educational purpose. So for the planning and analysis, uh, in this project, I have made a plan which find out the problem statement, objective, and significance, and then it make analysis with that information. For the design, it also have been designed system architecture. It also have been designed the methodology diagram. The development of the application have not been carried out yet. The application testing will be carried out by given the user test the application, and user have to give the feedback to the developer so that the developer can upgrade their application or fix where the errors occurs. This is the system architecture of the project. The user of this project is bachelor students of UiTM Tapa. And, they will use Android smartphone only to use the application. So in the application, we have the augmented reality scanner to scan the words. The augmented reality scanner, we scan the words that have in the 4 syllables that been stored in the characters database. If the user scan the words that does not have in the database character, it will not show and display the translation or the output. So the character of the database will read the Chinese character through the SQL. When the user use the Android smartphone, scan the Chinese character, it will show the translation, audio, and the example of words in the screen of the phone. They will also provide notes from lesson 1 until lesson 4 for the student to read and to study. That's all for the system architecture. Okay, this is the summary of the methodology, which is it will link the objective of this project with the phases that we carry out in this methodology in this project. So for the first objective, to identify the interactive Mandarin learning app using augmented reality, it will identify in the planning and analysis phase. So the problem, the objective, significance, scope, and the features have been analyzed and be planned in these phases. So for the second and third phases, which is design and development, it will go through the second objective, which is to develop an augmented reality application to support Mandarin language learning process in UiTM. So it been designed a diagram like methodology diagram, a system architecture diagram, phases of methodology, and it will also create the user interface. So for the development, it will develop the coding of the application, the augmented reality features. It will use the Unity 3D and Android Studio software to develop the application. So for the design, it also have provided the flowchart of each phases, and then it use the Draw.io software to draw the flowchart, and it also have using the PowerPoint to design the methodology diagram. So for the other 3 phases, which are testing, deployment, and maintenance, it will be connected to the third objective, which is to evaluate the effectiveness of the application. For the test phases, it will test the application with the target user. The developer also will check the performance of the application and also the content of Clarify. For the deployment and the maintenance, there will be no explanation because it will not be carried out in this project. That's all for the summary of methodology. So that's all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.